Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Pacesetters. One of the great things about this format is we're able to talk to people all over the state, whether they be drivers, trainers, no matter where they're located. And today I bring you someone who has been such a heavy contributor to our sport right across the state, but particularly in the Northwest. And I welcome to the show Dean Chapple. Dean, welcome to Pacesetters.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Great to have you on, mate. Hey, now, while we're recording this, and by the time this thing gets basically all edited together and people get to see it, you may have passed the milestone. But right now, we've got you recorded at 699 career wins. So you're on the verge of a really, really special milestone. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's been a hard slug to get to that stage, being in the bush and limited racing. But, yeah, hopefully on Thursday I can get over the 700 mark.
When you say it's been a long journey and a lot of a hard slog, let's go right back to the start. Like, when can you put on the record? What was your first winner, Dean?
Funnily enough, my first winner was, I remember it clearly, it was at Menangle on the old track. It was at the top of the lane. I had to push Brian Hancock out of the road to get the money, so I'll never forget that. And shake my hand and congratulate me. It was a great moment, and I'll never forget it. I was only about 16.
That's a fair old scalp to get on your first winner, Brian Hancock.
Yeah, no, it was great. I'll never forget it. It was, and he was terrific about it too. Don't worry about that.
What was the name of the horse?
Jimmy Hill. Yeah, I ended up. He was probably the first horse I trained, and I won about 3 or 4 races with him. And yeah, he was a great little horse that started me off.
Yeah, and does the first win, like, is it still a special 699 wins along on that journey? Is that first win, Dean?
It does. Every win's special, and because everyone in the industry works hard for every win, so every win means something. Some a little bit more than others. So yeah, it doesn't matter if it's wherever it is, Tamworth, Newcastle, or even Menangle these days. They all mean something to me because we all work. I work, and so does everyone else works so hard for it.
Yeah, and you've got horses that you've obviously got yourself that you look after, but then you drive for other people. Can you differentiate between how that feels to land a winner for yourself or land a winner and give someone else that special moment of winning a race as an owner?
Oh, it's a bit of both, but I because we work so hard here with our horses because we've always got a big team, it does feel a little bit more special when you train your own horses. But, I've got a lot of friends here that sort of, only got 1 or 2 horses in work. So when I drive a winner for them, it means a hell of a lot to them, more than me, because I get a fair few winners. But, it's probably a little bit more when we train our own and, because you put so much behind it and it's so special then.
That's one of the beautiful things about our sport, isn't it? That there's elements of finding the magic moment, whether you're an owner, whether you're a driver, whether you're a trainer. And it's not necessarily even winning. It's, it's a horse exceeding expectations, but there's so many magic moments that can be created in harness racing, isn't there?
Yeah, it is a special sport, and there's a lot of great people that I've met along the way in it, and, a lot of hard workers. And, yeah, there's a lot of magic moments. Even, you could go to the races and get beat, but, your horses have done their best and you've done your best, and it still means a lot.
Yeah. What about obviously you're up there in the Northwest at the moment and doing a lot of racing around that region, and we're into regionalisation right now, Dean, COVID enforced. I guess for you, you've really made your mark in that area. Is it a special part of our state for you? Does it feel like home, and it means extra more to be landing winners up there?
It does, yeah. Like, I was based in Maitland and Newcastle with my brother for a long time, and we moved up here. Me and my wife moved here 20 years ago, and this is home, yeah. And it does, I'd sooner drive winners at Tamworth here. It's a great place, and this is where I call my home. And it's good to get back to Newcastle every now and then and land one. But I'd sooner be here.
Yeah, mate. There's not many race cards that go by when you've got horses in that you haven't got a winner's check among one of them. You've got a pretty good strike rate.
Yeah, well, I'm fortunate enough that a lot of people use me. If I haven't got any horses in the race, I get a lot of outside drives and that. And I know the track so well, and if we're sort of drawn a bit awkward, I can punch the fence and get a check, and hopefully sometimes get a winner.
Yeah. You talked about that first win, beating Brian Hancock in that race. If we go back a step further than that, how did you become to be part of harness racing in the first place, Dean?
With my stepfather, Charlie Lee, my brother and I, Guy, we got involved sort of around about 7 or 8 when my mother met him. And from that day on, I was always going to be a harness racing driver. I don't know if it turned out good or bad, but that was all I wanted to do, and he gave us the grounding, and, I'd done a good job with Guy as well. And, so from there on in, I just worked hard at it, and here I am today. But I've had a lot of jobs along the road, but harness racing's been the main foundation of me for a long time.
What else were you doing? What were some of those other jobs that you talk about?
Working in abattoirs and delivery drivers and things like that. But I've always been back to the horses, for sure.
Kept pulling you back, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it's good or bad, but that's how it's worked.
Yeah. And what is it about it for you that keeps drawing you back, do you think?
I don't know. I think that people say it gets in your blood, and I think they're right, and it's, these days it's a better income than the old days. You can make some sort of living out of it if you're good enough and you're in the right spot. So, I don't know. It's just the love of the horses, and if I'm my own boss here at the moment, and I can do my own thing, and if you work hard enough, you get the results.
Yeah, and you're prepared to. I mean, I mentioned just before that we're in regionalisation again. That proactive move was taken, obviously, with the COVID restrictions in play at the moment. But a little story just to you and I have only met once, but we met very early in my time working at Harness Racing New South Wales, and it was at Maitland. And I remember you're very gracious with your time and introducing me to your family. But one of the things you said was you're about to go on a road trip and take a couple of horses on a road trip all the way to Broken Hill just for a couple of drives. And, we're talking that's a huge drive and that's a huge journey to do it. But that's you, isn't it? That you're prepared to do that, and it's the love of the sport, it's the opportunity to race, all those things.
Yeah, look, we do a lot of miles, and that was one of my biggest. And I think you're with Sean Snudden that night, and he gave me a bit of a spray about going there that day. And we that was probably our biggest effort. We've done a few Queensland trips. We don't mind. We go to Menangle with the right horse, Newcastle every second week. So I'm not afraid to travel, and that particular time we got the money. There's a lot of times we don't, but it doesn't matter. You just back up again and go again.
Yeah. Do you have, obviously you've seen a lot of tracks and you've driven a lot of tracks. Got a particular favourite?
Oh, definitely Newcastle. It, to my opinion, is the most unbiased track I've ever driven on. I really got a favourite of Newcastle. Probably Tamworth second because I win a lot here, but no, Newcastle, it's a very good track. It's a fair track and everyone gets a chance.
Yeah, and you just mentioned two areas where you once called home and now you do call home. I guess that adds an extra element to it as well.
Yeah, that's definitely, yeah. They're both good tracks, and that, obviously Menangle's everyone loves the Menangle and that, but I don't get enough chances down there to call it my favourite, so I'll have to stick with the two I know.
What's and I've mentioned it a couple of times about this return to regional racing because of COVID, but if we can talk through COVID, obviously COVID has started to rear its head, over the last couple of weeks where you are there in Tamworth. Like, what's been the impacts for the Northwest? Because I'd imagine there's a lot of people, south of where you are probably can't necessarily even get a grasp on how it impacts even areas in such a minor way as well.
In harness racing itself, it hasn't really impacted us because we had Newcastle come here and that was sort of more or less it, So as a harness racing point of view, it hasn't really impacted us. It's a horrible thing, don't get me wrong, but it hasn't really impacted us in a sense of our business and the way we operate because we're still going, fortunately. Last week was a bit airy where the outside regions had to stay in another area and that, which, we're usually with them. But so far, At the moment, we're rolling all right. We're not affected like Sydney is or things like that, So far, I think with a bit of luck, we might be able to keep rolling and with no impact at all.
Yeah. What about in the way you operate and and in considerations when it comes to entering races and putting together a bit of a plan for horses? Has it had any impact on you in that regard?
It is. Just lately it has been because I've got a lot of young horses that are probably better suited with 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds to race in the Newcastle region, and we just haven't been able to get there at the moment. So my owners have been sort of on the back step there because we've had to put them up in grade here at Tamworth a bit. So that, I suppose that has been a bit of an effect on our business. But I just got a text message today that we're allowed to regionalise racing. So, we may be able to get to Newcastle anytime soon to start our 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds down there because they're not standing up here at the moment. So hopefully it'll change in the next week or so. So we'll be right to go.
Mm. Dean, with all due respect, you've been in and around our sport for a fair while now. How have you seen it change over the years?
Oh, it's been great. Yeah, it has changed, and it's the younger drivers are getting a really good chance these days. Where back in my day, we sort of didn't get them opportunities that they're getting. The prize money's going really well. It's going up all the time. We're getting more professional, and I can see a positive attitude in the sport, especially for the young guys, and that they're getting a really good opportunity, and if they don't make something of that opportunity, well, it's really their fault, isn't it? And with prize money and everything now, I think it's all changed for the good. So I can only see positive things from the future.
And tracks continue to get better and improve, and facilities are great. Breeding constantly improves, and you get a better quality of horse, I guess, as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the tracks have changed dramatically since back in our time, where we used to go on Newcastle and the old Maitland track, and sort of like Gosford and places like that, where they've changed now. It's a hell of a lot safer and everything like that, and it's all about the welfare of the horse, of the drivers, and everything. So it's onwards and upwards. I think it's the sport is really getting better with time, anyway.
There's some good ones coming through. When we look at the drivers around the state, there's some good ones that have really emerged, aren't there?
Oh, there's some really good talent. You look in Sydney, there's some really good young drivers coming through, and up here, Tom Ison's a standout of our talent up here, but there's plenty in Sydney and Newcastle with the Blake Hughes and Jake Hughes, and then you work your way down. There's plenty of talent, and all them kids are going good and they're working hard, and it's good to see.
Yeah. Do you think the pathways are a bit better these days than what it was when you were trying to make your mark, and and we're starting to see that start to bear some fruit in the quality of drivers that are going around on tracks around the state?
Oh, for sure. Like back in my time anyway, probably not so much guys, but back in my time, we had to go up against the older drivers, so it was a bit hard to get a drive and an opportunity. But now like they get 250 winners before they lose their claim, and they're well paid and everything like that. So no, it's a great thing for them, and it can start them off in life, and where they head after their claim, it's up to them.
And it's a family sport for you guys, isn't it? I mean, you've got your whole family's involved. Can you talk to me about that?
Oh, it is, yeah. Well, first of all, it's my brother and I. Guy, he done a massive job. We're all proud of Guy, what he's done over the years, and his son Mitchell. And then we've got my family, which Ellie's at the moment working for Robbie and Kerry Ann, and she's doing well in Sydney at the moment. And I've got my son Jack, who he's just started his trials. He's had 10 drives at the moment. He's going pretty well. And then got the backbone, my wife Julie. So we're all involved, and we're all going pretty good at the moment. So yeah. Without them, we couldn't do the job.
Yeah. So what's a typical day look like in the household then, Dean?
My day's long. I work for a racehorse trainer in town called Sue Grills. So I get up and I do 4 hours from 4 till 8 with her. And I come home and they're fed, and Jack's done a jog trip for me, and he goes to school normally. And then I finish the rest of the team and just carry on for the rest of the day. So
long days, Dan. It's a big commitment, isn't it? To run a stable and then be a competitor yourself. Yeah, it's a big commitment.
It is a big commitment, but that's what we do, and I'm not on my own. There's plenty of people that does the same thing. So yeah, it's a big commitment, but you get a winner or you have a good day of the races. It's all rewarding. So
anyway. And does that make it all worth it? The chance that you do get to go out and race, and and I guess see what you do during the week turn into a performance. That people can watch. People overseas are watching you race. That must be a bit of a thrill in itself, It
is. It is. When you have a good day, you come home from the races and you've had a big week and it's been tough. A lot of things. Horse might have went bad, or a horse might have broke down, or something went wrong, and then you come home from the races and you have a good day and you think, oh well, that makes up for a bad week and it's all worth it. It is, and that's all we strive for. I'd imagine is we just for that good day, that good winner, all that good horse that comes around the corner. So, it's hard work, but it is rewarding.
What's it like for you to be sitting on a horse that's doing well? What's that feeling like? Can you articulate that for me?
Oh, look, it is a good thing. It's just at the end of the day, I haven't driven any real good horses or anything. I've had a few horses that have been special to me and done nice jobs, but it's just rewarding to know that it's doing its best, and you've got him in the right spot and you've got him fit and healthy, and he's done his best on the day. And if it wins or it don't win, as long as they're doing their best every day, every time you go to the races, which means a lot to me.
Mate, whether they were any good or not, with you doing the steering, are better than anything. They came up against 699 times so far, so there's a feather in your cap.
Yeah, it has. I've got around a few times. I got beat another 1,000, the statistics say too, So
yeah.
that could have been my fault a couple of times, I suppose. But anyway, no, it's a milestone that we've been chasing. I've been chasing for a little while, so hopefully come Thursday I can get it.
Yeah. I mean, 700's on the horizon, but what's the realistic, or what is the lofty goal? What are you aiming for before you hang up the silks?
Not a hell of a lot. I'd like to win a couple of the features here at Tamworth, the Tamworth Cup and the Golden Guitar. But look, my kids are coming through now, so once they get established and they're up and driving, I'll probably kick back a little bit and concentrate on the training and let them take over. So I don't know how many more years I'm going to push on for, but once they're ready to rock, I'll give them the opportunity.
So you're not putting a red pen through the 1,000, are you?
I'm probably putting it through the 800.
Well, look, mate, the way you're going, I mean, you're literally clocking up a few each week. So, we crunched the numbers. That's a few years. 1,000's not that far fetched, eh?
You never know. See what happens.
Yeah.
The way my boy's going, he's pushing me out of the road already, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and that in itself must be pretty rewarding to have seen him come through the junior system and now be in a position that he's having some senior drives and and landing some winners. Yeah,
no, it's good to see the kids coming through and hopefully they can take over.
Yeah. So obviously we're in strange times, and it's hard to really forward plan in the immediate short term, but the long term, are there some things that you want to tick over? I know you just talked about trying to snare some of the feature races up there in the Tamworth area, but is that kind of as far as the career ambition goes as a driver before you call it quits, Dean?
Obviously not. No, like I said earlier, I've never had the good horse or the one to go in the big races. So, and we've got a few young ones coming through. So obviously the features, the Group 1s, and them sort of races are obviously on my list. But realistically, if they come along, they do. But I'd love to be able to be competitive in them sort of races. So hopefully some of these young ones that we've got coming through might do the job, or just keep whacking away at what I'm doing.
Yeah. Hey, how many Ks do you reckon you put on the car over all the years, getting around all these races that you go to?
Look, I don't know. There'll be a million, I suppose. There'll be plenty.
Oh, there must be a lot.
Yeah, we've done it. We've sort of been, my wife and I, we've been all over New South Wales. We've done plenty of Queensland trips. And, So, anyway, we're not going to stop for a while.
Yeah. You talked about the first win as being pretty memorable. What is the most memorable winner that you've landed across those 699?
Jeez, I don't know. It's a bit hard. Probably my first Harold Park winner was was only on a Tuesday night, but back in our day, all you wanted to do is drive a Harold Park winner, and I drove it on a horse called Swamp Fox. That was pretty exciting back in them days because it meant a hell of a lot, you know. But I don't know, probably winning the Gold Nugget at Tamworth was one of our features on Churchill Bromac. But you know, there's been a few there that you know, it sort of jogged my mind a bit. But probably Broken Hill was special too, getting 3 out of 3. So you know, there's a few little ones there that mean a bit to me.
Yeah, regional racing means a lot to you, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Everyone's very close here, and you know, everyone does their best, and you know, one winner means a hell of a lot to people here. Where some days, you know, and other people, you know, because it's just a job, and that probably doesn't mean as much to them as it does to people up here, you know.
Yeah, you still love it though, don't you?
Yeah, I'm still there. Yeah. Hanging in there.
Yeah. Do you like it? Do you love it as much as when, you know, way back when you started and you first started to get that rush of, you know, being part of racing? They do. Like, I don't sense that's something that's necessarily diminished in you.
Oh no, it's not. It's just like even now, if there's a race when there's a driver that it's not on a horse, and I know I've driven for them people and that, I'll shoot them a text and still chase that drive. So as long as I'm still chasing drives and still wanting to go on, I've got the eye of the tiger. So you know, yeah, it's still in me. So I'm a long way from laying down. But when the kids get through, like I said, they can push me out of the road and take over.
Yeah. Well, I hope that you know, we still got plenty of races to watch and support you in, Dean. And you know, obviously 699 is a massive milestone. I'll congratulate you on the 700 because chances are it's not that far away. As you said, Thursday you're hopeful, and maybe by the time people are watching this, the 700's been eclipsed. But it's inevitable that it happens, and let's hope that you can push on to some of those other bigger numbers as well down the track.
Yeah, let's just hope so. Yeah, we'll be doing our best.
Well, best wishes. Thanks for joining us on Pacesetters, Dean. It's been, I think, as I said at the start, it's fantastic that we can talk to, you know, key contributors to our industry right across the state, and particularly in the regions who really are the heartbeat and the pulse of this fantastic sport that we're part of. So thanks for joining us. Really do appreciate it. And to everyone out there watching, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next week on Pacesetters. See you then.